Hello, kiddies. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to The Bottom Shelf.
John, why are you wearing black pajamas? It's the middle of the day.
You can't see me.
I'm literally looking at you, John.
No, I'm invisible. You can't see me.
John.
No.
John, we've
See,
had
watch.
this conversation.
Well,
Watch.
honestly, if you just turn the
What?
light
Jesus!
down a little
Where did you come
Bam!
from?
Where did you come from?
bit. Guys, I've been here since last episode. Just haven't said anything to me.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I stopped by because I needed some advice on a taco machine, and y'all were doing your thing, and I was like waving, and I guess y'all didn't see me or something. But to be fair, I was in the shadows a lot.
That's how you do it, John.
Prepare yourself to discover a world of terrible movies. High above the planet Geekery, a group of intrepid explorers hover over the dangerous planet in their fabulous super-orbital spacecraft. Their mission? To conduct a complete analysis of movies known throughout the universe as terrible. So grab your space popcorn, grab your freeze-dried ice cream, and join us for today's mission of discovery and wonder. Are these movies better than the galaxy thinks? Or do they really belong on the bottom shelf?
Good evening, movie lovers and movie haters. It is I, your Dark Lord, John Haryu, and I have come to tell you about the dark arts of the ninja. And with me this week, I have Bam and Dallas hanging out.
John,
Hey, guys.
John, I've told you this before. Just because you wear all black clothes doesn't mean you're a trained ninja.
It worked for me. I just want to throw that out there.
Branson,
What?
You're not helping. If I try doing what you did, I'd just come off looking like Chris Farley.
All right, that was a timely reference. And hello to everybody else out there. We have Bam on the show with us this week.
We had him
This
last time
episode.
too.
Oh, but I'm sure he probably intentionally chose not to watch that last movie.
To be fair, he might have been here, but we were just so comatose from watching whatever that was that.
We were too busy staring at the screen trying to look at what they were looking at.
You mean the green screen they were looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. War of the Worlds, you made me angry.
All right. Ranting aside, what are we doing this week, guys?
That's a great question. Let's check the box here. And since coming out of the shadows, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ninja Assassin?
Is that like
Oh.
a knockoff Assassin's Creed?
Maybe.
Wasn't there an Assassin's Creed game in Japan?
There was one here in the States too.
I meant like one that was based in Japan.
We don't
I
talk
know.
about that game.
Oh, I stepped on a nerve.
I believe that game was called Ghost of Yote.
Maybe. If you want to know more about Ghost of Yote, check out Calm Talk by Geek Devotions, where John and I gave our thoughts on it.
The
Anyways,
podcast dedicated to letting you know that you are loved, you are cared for, and that there is a purpose for your life. Click like and subscribe.
oh my goodness. All right, Ninja Assassin, I believe, is what we're going to watch today, gentlemen, since John's wearing his PJs.
You're just jealous because I'm comfortable.
I am. You're correct. I am jealous that you're comfortable. Although I feel like you're a little too comfortable. There's no reason for you to have a flap on the back of your pants, especially have it open like that, John.
Bro.
And suddenly I understand why you haven't been able to fade into the background.
I've been in outer space for 2 years now. How much sunlight do you think I've seen? That's why the flap's open, sir. I'm trying to have rosy cheeks by Christmas.
Lord Jesus, help us. All right, let's jump into it. Here, Branson, why don't you read the back of the box for us?
Okay. I will do it in my best ninja voice.
Oh,
Okay.
don't get us
Oh,
canceled.
Lord, let's not do that. I don't want to be a part of the Trade Federation in the beginning of the Star Wars saga.
I was actually thinking more like Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
Nope.
But
Nope.
You sounded like a catfish alien.
Oh,
doing the Trade Federation. Yep.
oh, okay.
Episode 1 right there.
All right. All right. That's okay. That's
There's smoke all over the place tonight, everybody.
All right. The filmmakers of The Matrix and V for Vendetta bring in new blood, lots of it, to martial arts movies in Ninja Assassin. Korean pop star Rain from Speed Racer stars as heroic deadly Raizo. Trained for childhood in the way of the Ozuna clan ninja, he is stalked by fellow warriors for breaking free of them and their iron-willed dojo patriarch, martial arts legend Sho Kosugi, and is on the run with a Europol agent, Naomi Harris, who has proof the clan sells assassination services to governments. The action is start to finish fast, fierce, filled with weaponry, chains, swords, staffs, shurikens, and awesome athleticism. Fear not the weapon, but the hand that wields it.
I don't feel like we need to watch the movie anymore.
My guy, Bam just destroyed my mind.
Oh, yeah?
I did.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to break character real quick. I didn't realize that was Sho Kosugi.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I am awestruck and everything makes sense now.
Really?
Oh, Sho Kosugi.
Am I seriously the only person who knows who Sho Kosugi is amongst the three of us?
Maybe. I don't know. Hold on.
Potentially. Who is Sho Kosugi? I'm peeking over Dallas's shoulder here. Let's see.
Okay, let's put a pin in this thought. Let's put a pin in this thought. We'll come back to it after you two have seen, after we have watched this,
Okay.
because I have conversations that need to be had about Sho Kosugi in the spoiler-free section.
All right. Sounds good.
Hold on. I'm having a moment because I just saw something. Nope, that's what I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm now on a tangent because of what he said. And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm Googling this guy. No! Are you kidding me?
Shh. Save it till we watch.
All
Remember, we put a pin in this.
Pin.
It's in my eye now. All right, so
Maybe we should have used a nail.
I am sorry, but you can't drop that name on me out of nowhere and make me realize. Okay. Anyway, all right. So let's
intro to the movie.
Yes, let's do that, please.
All right, pulling up the intro to the movie information. In the early 2000s, Matthew Sand had a dream, a bloody one, full of leather, martial arts, and action. After watching The Matrix and V for Vendetta back to back, he reached out to James McTeague to help him bring his dream alive with Ninja Assassin. Sadly, halfway through production, he realized the script wasn't so great, so he called in Babylon 5 writer J. Michael Starzycki, can't mispronounce that, I apologize, to help fix the script. After fixing the script, they needed someone with some athleticism and fierceness to play the mythological ninja that would bring fear to everyone, someone who was brave and could face danger. So after watching Speed Racer, they hired a K-pop star named Rain to be their fierce pretty boy warrior. After barely breaking even the box office, this high-action, blood-filled film drifted off into memory movie of the shadows. All right, so with all that being said, you got any kind of trivia for us there, buddy?
I do. On this movie. The weapon Raizo favors throughout the movie is called a... Oh, Lord, I stumble on this in Ghost of Yote, too. Arigama, which is notoriously difficult weapon to master, which is awesome if you've ever played Ghost of Yote, and I'm excited to see it in action.
I'm going to play it after we record this podcast.
Right. After Raizo is captured by Interpol and chained to the wall, one of the agents looks at him and says, he looks like he should be in a boy band. Rain started his career in the boy band fan club, so he is actually a boy band member.
Yes.
Korean pop star Rain had no martial arts experience prior to filming. He trained extensively for 6 months in martial arts and weapons handling with stunt action choreographers Chad Stalesk, Peng Zhang, and John Valera and Jonathan Sabio, as well as weights and cardiovascular workouts with personal trainers. He also went on a diet of chicken breasts and vegetables.
Wow.
Can you imagine like just hanging out with martial arts trainers just every day, and your job is just to become like some martial arts guru?
That'd be crazy.
That would be nice.
And to bookend this little list O trivia, Lee Jun, who plays teenage Raizo in the movie, was a member of South Korean boy band MBLAQ. The band was created and mentored by Rain himself. So this movie is just nonstop boy band fanfic.
Interesting. It's interesting the number of Koreans on this movie about Japanese warriors. Just saying. Is that all your trivia?
That's all I got in front of me at the moment.
All right, let's pull up, ladies and gentlemen, some community conversation. We reached out to folks over on TikTok, Instagram, and Discord, and the Facebooks coming out from our Discord. First off, we got Mikasi. What's up, homie? My fellow Gundam fan. He says, I enjoyed the movie. I went expecting just an action flick, and I got something deeper, but not much. Would be willing to rewatch.
All right. Then we got CKU Cruise
Caesar.
345. All I'm going to say is that for a person who is not Naruto, I absolutely love this movie. One of the best I've seen, definitely worth the watch and rewatch.
Nice.
Awesome.
I don't get this because I don't get that response, my guy, because it literally pops up as a 35 on the Metacritic score.
So what?
This movie comes up as a 35
you
on
talking
the
about-
Metacritic.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Rewatch. It's not jiving with, like, why are we watching this if it is so great?
So far, we have 2 people that said, yes, we need to rewatch this.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
saying.
All right, read the next one, bud.
Some fella says, I just remember that at a certain point of the movie, the main character suddenly had Wolverine-style healing, and his deep wounds were all closed up.
All right. Charles
I mean-
Bell.
Alert.
Charles Bell, who is one of our good friends, friend of the show. He runs Game Warriors, Gaming for a Cause, which does fundraisers for nonprofits. He says, I enjoyed it enough to add it to my collection.
Oh, I'm next. Nathan J. Norm. I'm also astounded by the feedback we got by the community. I think this has only been out for what?
24
2
hours.
Yeah,
Yep. By the way,
not much.
Nathan J. Norman is Commander Cody from our intro.
Yeah. Nathan J. Norman says, I watched it because J. Michael. Oh, you're going to make me say it now. J. Michael Straczynski was brought in to fix the script. Oh, there's a vote of confidence.
Aaron's Huey says, I own it. Not the best ninja movie, but I'll watch it once in a while. Now I want a DC's League of Shadows,
Oh,
which would actually be really good.
that'd be lit.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Like,
Chris
even as
Ford-
a TV. Can you imagine that as a TV show, like on one of the streaming stations, just League of Shadows?
That would be pretty lit.
That would be nice.
Pretty cool. There's a Netflix series called House of Ninjas that was really good.
I'm into it.
All right, Chris Forte. The movie Assassin was severely underrated when it first dropped. That was one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies I watched. Can't believe I forgot about it till just now. Thank you. I will be getting me a copy soon because I want to watch it again.
Wow.
I'm just blown away by this community feedback. Like,
I know, right?
Are we
Does
sure
not-
we read the score correctly?
I double checked it. 35.
Wow. Okay.
All right, let's keep on moving. Richard Bone has the best name that I've. Oh wait, that's not what we're here for. Richard Bone. How many ninja stars did they go through? Seemed one guy had millions. Just throwing them.
That's fair.
Rev Bomb says, I saw it in theaters and bought it on DVD when it came out. So much CGI blood.
All right. Well, that's our community outreach. Let's give our expectations. Mr. Haryu, Stealth
Yeah.
Assassin.
All right, so this was one of those other movies that kind of inspired the creation of this podcast for me. And the reason why is because I watched it when it first came out on DVD. I didn't see it in the theater. Rev Bomb did. However, I did check it out on DVD from Blockbuster. No, Hastings. Rip Hastings. Moment of silence. Okay, but I did check it out from Hastings, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And this is before I'd gotten involved with really trying to break down movies. I just sat down and watched it and said, hey, I really liked that. And I was talking with my buddy who is really into the movie snob community, which is what I refer to people who super deep dive into movies and pick them apart and really go into the nuance of filmmaking, greater so than I even do now. And he was just teasing me one side and the other because apparently it was common knowledge amongst the movie critic community that this movie was trash. I never saw the movie again after seeing it that first time, albeit I do remember I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I couldn't understand why everybody thought it was trash. So I'm excited to revisit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. B.
I actually did see it in theaters when this came out.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife was working at the time at a hospital, and she would always have the late night shift, and I saw it, and it looked like one of those kind of like the Expendables movies. It doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is, and you know what you're going to see. And so I was like, I could stand for just some mindless violence and gore for a while. Sure, why not? So I went, I got a buddy of mine to go with me, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like John, I never went back and saw it again. I didn't have any friends that hated on it, but the only friend I spoke about it with was the guy that went and saw it with me, and he enjoyed it enough. But I don't remember it being terrible. So I guess the assumption is it just didn't do well in the box office, and that's why it has the rating it has. But I don't remember hating it.
Now, critically speaking, the critics did dump on this movie, so it was not critically well received.
Really?
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoyed watching it when I saw it. Now, it's been 15 years, but
Can
I'm
I,
vibing.
before you do yours, Dallas, can I put a little addendum on my expectations here?
Please do.
I am genuinely terrified I'm about to have a Guyver 2 moment going into this movie.
I've not been back for one episode. And y'all are going to bring that pour salt back into that wound.
He's had a few of those
Here's the deal.
himself.
Here's the deal, Bam. I'm not even trying to pour salt into that wound. Right now, I'm just like legitimately concerned. Like I'm remembering a movie that I enjoyed when I was younger, and I'm afraid this is going to end up being dog water when we walk into it. And
I completely
like this.
Sympathize with you. I'm there with you. If it comes to that, I'm here for you. I'll help you. I'll help you through it. I'm here for you, man.
There you go. My expectations are I like ninjas and a lot. I saw this movie years ago when it first came out on DVD. I'm trying to remember my timelines, and I don't think I was working for Hollywood Video at the time when it came out, but I remember renting it. And I think, dude, when I got this, I got it on Netflix on DVD.
Hey, the mail-in Netflix.
Old
Say
school
what you
Netflix.
want about old school Netflix. I preferred old school Netflix. Having everything immediately available took the
magic away. Yeah.
I felt like I actually watched more movies getting the DVD
Yeah.
than having them, because I guess it was the idea of I've invested time waiting for this to show up.
Right.
Before I send it back, I need to actually watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I watched more movies when we had the physical disc than when we had it streaming.
I can vibe with that. But I remember watching it late at night and going, this is cool. Now, it was like 2:00 in the morning, but
This would be an amazing 2:00 in the. I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself.
dude,
Go ahead.
2:00 in the morning, bowl of ramen, just vibing. I remember having fun with this movie, legitimately having fun. Now, to be fair, I'm a fan of those cheesy Japanese movies with the exaggerated blood. Actually, The Blind Swordsman and all those other ones, those were great movies. And so I was like, yeah, let's go. And so my expectations is that just have fun. And here in our community outreach, it sounds like everyone is just vibing with this movie.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Everything has been said. We're gonna go and watch the movie. If you are listening to the podcast, pause it and go watch this movie. At the viewing of this, I don't know where you can find it.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray myself, so
Oh, I watched it on Google. Branson saw it on Tubi, just barely.
it was on Tubi and now it's not. It may come back.
All right, guys, we're gonna go watch the movie.
Dear listeners, this is your opportunity to escape. Our crew has just entered into the media projection chamber. What horrors and madness that they consume are unknown. Their mental state upon their return is unknown. You have been warned.
You ever walk out of a movie feeling like you're covered with marinara and ground beef?
I am sorry, okay? I was trying to balance everything and my shoelace was untied and it happened, okay?
I just don't know why you had that on your popcorn.
Look, all I can say is don't knock it till you tried it.
This is why we don't talk to you, Branson.
Oh my gosh. All right. This is our spoiler-free discussion time frame.
All right, Sho Kasuga.
Yes. Let's
I'm
hear about
sorry,
Shoki.
I have been holding this like a pea on a road trip, sir. This is going to happen right now.
You
whether
tell
or
me
not
your
you want
brain
it to.
explosion, I'll tell you mine.
Okay, Sho Kasuga is one of the key proponents of the 1980s ninja movie explosion that had happened during that time period. He is most notably
Oh.
known for what's called the Ninja Trilogy, which was Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and then Ninja 3: The Domination, as well as being in one of the most famous VHS cover movies of all VHS rental companies of all time, which was the ninja movie called Pray for Death.
Wow.
Wow. That actually clarifies a lot of what I had to say about this movie now.
That's pretty
Knowing,
lit.
knowing that makes a lot of sense.
There's some ninja heritage here.
Yeah. So if you take that into consideration of what we just watched and you think about all the hackney 1980s ninja movies that Sho Kasuga was in, and then you think about the movie we just watched, everything should fall in line for you.
Yes, it does.
This makes me my astounding thing. Joe Sho played Rikimaru in this game, or in the game's Tenchu Stealth Assassin. He played the Japanese voice. And for those who know me, I have been advocating for years we need a return of Tenchu Stealth Assassin games for ages. I had a revelation the other day, John, and the reason that I play Ghost of Yotei and Ghost of Tsushima the way I do and the why I love it is because it is the closest to Tenchu that I can get right now in modern gaming.
Sure.
It is my opinion one of the best ninja games out there. And hear me, video game people, give me Tenchu because it's so great. But he was the voice of Rikimaru the entire time. I was like, holy crap. So, side note, he was also the voice of a Power Ranger, apparently, or a character in Power Rangers.
Oh, really?
Ninja Sentai Koranger. He played some character named
He was
Golly.
Raider Repulsive.
This dude was like nothing but ninja movies.
Oh, for sure. No, this Sho Kasuga is ninja movie royalty. Like the moment that Bam said that he was in this, my head blew up because
Yeah.
I don't know him. I don't know his work well enough to be able to identify him on a movie screen, which is the reason why I didn't know that going into this. I didn't check. I never check the credits of the movies going into these things. So to not know his work well enough to be able to identify him by seeing him on screen, but mostly knowing his legacy, that just makes me even more excited to have seen this movie now because I'm like, okay, now I'm a part of something.
Yeah, definitely.
It actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying the fact that you said that makes a lot of sense because one of the things I wrote down is the overall feel of this movie. It leans into what we all expected ninjas to be in the 90s.
Oh, totally.
Like it actually made the ninja this scary force of the night. And I wrote down in my notes, I was like, whoever wrote this movie grew up watching ninja movies in the 90s because they're like, this is what we expected ninjas to be when we heard there was going to be a ninja in a movie.
90s and 80s, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
Filmology wise, like you could tell this is a European film. There is a specific vibe and ingrained to European films, and you can almost taste the PAL, the way the PAL's the formatting in Europe. You can feel it, but it wasn't distracting. Sometimes European films they come off distracting to me. I don't know if that's the same way for you guys watching European films. I don't know if it's the way they do.
I didn't even realize that until you pointed it out. So it wasn't even something that was obvious to me.
Okay. I'm just dumb. All right.
No, dude, you're not dumb. It's just
it's so I see, but it's one of those things that, but to me, it was good though. Like it was really well done. The estimated budget was only $40 million. Only.
That's in 2000. That's in 2009.
And gross wise, it only made $61 million. So it barely made its money back. But that being said, like you could tell the budget wasn't the greatest, but what they did with it was amazing. Like graphics were really well done. And what it is, they
my
leaned
money
into
says my money says that budget went to training.
more than likely. But what it is though, what makes it for me is they leaned into the 80s, 90s stylized martial arts.
Yeah.
They leaned into that heavily for the graphics from like the chain spins and the way they did all the fight scenes. And I'm gonna get into specifics about some of those fight scenes later because that's where I put a lot of my notes at. But I think it was just really well done with what they had and the way things were done back then.
Yeah, choreography in this and the training that Rain had to have for this, taking
Mhm.
it back to the point I was saying, and that's where the money had to have gone with this because,
Oh man.
and maybe it's just because I don't think digital effects were quite there yet when this movie
Mhm.
came out, because the digital effects do stick out a little bit in the same way that the digital effects stuck out in the second Blade movie, where people's bodies get a little bit rubber band, man, or at
Right.
Gumby,
Yeah.
as we used to refer to it back in the day.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that. There's moments where the chain on this weapon is very obviously CG because it becomes practically day glow yellow. But in the same sense, in order to accept the premise that's in this movie, there's a certain level of suspension of disbelief you have to come into the movie with in order to
Mhm.
watch it appropriately.
Right.
So I think if you're willing to do that, I don't think any of the lack in the visual effects or the aging of the visual effects is necessarily going to be prohibitive to enjoying the movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, like a reference to, I forget who said it about so much CGI blood.
Mhm.
The way they did the movie, though, that didn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said was a lot of the scenes looked like, okay, they inserted this scene so that they could show off that this guy could do this move.
Yeah.
That was the point of it. There was one where he does like a push up on a bed of nails. I'm like, they're just doing that to say, hey, look, this guy can do a push up on a bed of nails or whatever. But because the whole premise of the movie is ninjas fighting all the time, it didn't feel out of place. It didn't
Mm.
feel hokey. It felt like it was part of the DNA of the movie, which actually made it enjoyable. I didn't mind the obvious fake blood or when the weapons looked like, okay, that weapon's not actually there. They stitched that in after the fact, but it fit the vibe of the movie and it was
Yeah.
actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 2009 action movies that came out in the era, and it's interesting seeing what's taking place here. Obviously, you have Ninja Assassin. You had a movie called Robo Geisha. You had the infamous Dragon Ball Evolution, which we need to talk about on the show one day. We had
Oh my
Street
gosh.
Fighter. We had a movie called Ninja. We had Teenage Mutant Turtles Forever. You had District 9. You had G.I. Joe come out. You had Blood, The Last Vampire, which is, by the way, one of my favorite anime adaptations. You had the terrible Street Fighter movie that came out about Chun-Li. And then you had Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. So this is the era that these things were coming out. Oh, also, for those of you who are into it, Tekken came out.
Oh,
Shout out to my man TJ. He was an extra in Tekken. And but it seems like this was the era for this was a year for fighting martial arts style stuff at the time. Like it was just I don't know if it was just a matter of the people who grew up in the 80s, 90s were just now, let's make martial arts movies, or if there was something else going on. But it was definitely a thing taking place.
I have a thought about that, but it gets kind of spoilery for me to say that. So I'm going to come back to this, but I'm glad you pointed that out.
based off the movies that you just said out loud there, I
Mhm.
will, and to make I'm going to make so many people mad with this, and I don't care. I will say, given the time period that all those movies came out and the time period of all the predecessor movies that it's trying to embody,
Mhm.
it's what was happening in hip hop at the time, where hip hop was trying to create its own identity. The new generation of hip hop was trying to create its own identity, and it ended up creating mumble rap. And though it came from a
Oof.
very earnest place, the action movie genre at the same time was a lesser form of its previous self. So I think this was more like the future. When I say future, not like time, the forward time, but future as in the rapper of the
Mm.
mumble rap genre of that time period. Whereas, yes, on a whole, those movies weren't super great, but I think this is the exemplary version. I'm tipping my hand. This is the exemplary version of that particular time period. If that makes
Right.
sense.
We're all kind of tipping our hands. So let's go ahead and go into our spoiler section for the conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the spoiler section.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to spoil this movie. Going to my stuff. The opening fight scene where we have everything going off, where you have some Yakuza looking guys in a bar and they're tattooing one guy, and all of a sudden there's the envelope with the black sand that's delivered, and all of a sudden the ninja just literally steps out of the shadows. How cool was that moment? That was woo, that was lit. But
Can we
in my
talk?
notes,
Can we talk about the old man doing the old school tattooing technique, just
Oh.
jamming those needles in?
And throwing shade at the Yakuza gangster while he's doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Did anybody else's knees go a little bit numb while they were watching those needles just being jammed? And he wasn't even being kind either. He's just ramming those
Right.
needles and just
The needle is doing its job. But that whole opening fight scene where he just annihilates everybody, literally I wrote down, this is how I play Ghost of Yote. Like the entire time. That's how I play Ghost of Yote the entire time. And I loved it.
Dallas and I play that game very differently. Dallas likes to go in like a stealth assassin. I like to just face tank everybody, and I want to watch them scream as I'm coming at them with a sword.
I don't play Ghosts of Yote, but when I played Marvel's Spider-Man on the PS4,
Right.
this was my preferred way of dealing with a room full of thugs, was I would crawl on the ceiling
Yeah.
and then do perch takedowns with
Yeah.
webbing.
Oh, I'm the same way in Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah.
There's just something about using these weapons where it's just, no, I want the full effect. Give me the violence.
Oh man. There's a stylistic difference between us. But for me, that's just like in this movie exemplifies how I play Ghost of Yote and everything else. Just this is going to be in John and I's follow-up episode of Ghost of Yote where we actually talk about when we finish the game. But John and I were joking about the styles that we play, and he uses a specific armor called the Bounty Hunter armor. And the Bounty Hunter armor, it allows you to parry like crazy. I'm using one called the Scarlet Kimono, which means that makes it so they almost just can't see you.
Oh, nice.
And John's, yeah, but like house of those perfect parries, who needs to parry when they're already dead by the time you get there? And that's what these ninjas did, man. That opening scene throughout the entirety of the film. This is one of my notes I loved. I wrote down. I loved how they had these ninjas fading in and out of the shadows.
Yes.
So mysteriously, so mythologically. And like the fight scene in Homegirl's apartment where she has the flashlight and all of a sudden they just disappear in the shadows. The way they choreographed that, where it's just the flashlight going in different spots, I thought that was genius.
I will say I did enjoy that, especially the in and out of the shadows. However, I want to append that by saying the vampire movements they had them doing where they were just swishing through the light with just a blur. I hated that. I hated that so much. In fact, I will go as far as to say that this would have been I think that this movie probably would have rated better with the critics if they would have taken the whole, and for those who can't actually see me, I'm doing air quotes, ninja magic out of this movie. And if they would have done it a lot more straight faced and kind of leaned into the realism a little bit more, I think that this would have been a lot more well received, and we'd be talking about a classic rather than something that was a little bit more panned as a CGI fantasy.
I see that, but at the same time, like I said earlier, this movie seems to take the concept of a ninja that we had as kids growing up and make that a reality. We all thought as kids, we always wanted to play as ninjas because we thought ninjas could do stuff like that. They could just vanish into the shadows and you never see anything. And so whoever wrote this movie was like, okay, as a kid, this is what I thought a ninja could do. So let me write a story where they can actually do that and then not take the time to explain how they do it. The whole of the movie, for the most part, is from the point of view of the people experiencing the ninjas, not the ninjas themselves. And so it makes the ninja seem like a monster that's hiding in the dark.
I can dig it. Like I get where you're coming from, and that's how I watched the movie. It's just I think I personally would have enjoyed it better if they would have leaned into the realism more than the fantasy of it or the.
I wonder if, because as we know, Nathan James Norton, he brought up the fact that they brought in home dude to do some rewrites because the script wasn't right. I'm wondering if they had either just hard leaned into the mythological idea more. Because there were some aspects that were very practical, like the whole training sequence where he's walking across the room with the boards that squeak. That's a legitimate training that they had to do, or we suspect, because let's be real, we don't know much about the shinobi. We just have legends. But the whole aspect of doing that, there was this one part practical that they kept showing us, and then one part mythological. And I wonder if that's the result of the script writers, because there were two of them. And I'm wondering if they had leaned one way or the other, it would have made it better.
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it more if they would have leaned harder into the whole fantastical side of it. I think that probably would have turned me off.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Like I said, I liked all the fight scenes. Like the fight scenes were great the entire time through. The scene where in the in the end when they're in the warehouse and he's like running from 5 billion shurikens and ninja stars are just flying at him nonstop. And it's again, this is how I could tell this European because they did a whole parkour thing, which was super popular in the early 2000s, of him running through that whole space. That fight was pretty cool looking to me.
Yeah. The only thing that I saw that really, to your point about the well choreographed fight scenes, that actually leads into the one of the few things about the movie that I wrote down that I was like, this is kind of weird. The Europol agent that I forget the character's name now.
The girl, the guy.
The girl.
Okay.
She had plot armor so thick.
Oh man.
There was one scene where she's in a room and all of these heavily armored soldiers are getting their heads literally cut off, just sliced and diced all over the place. She's in there in a leather jacket and a pew pew gun, and somehow she's dodging shurikens left and right. It's like he always happens to be at just the right spot where these highly trained assassins that are taking out soldiers galore just always miss her.
Yeah, she definitely has plot armor for days.
Yeah.
This is the arm. She has the plot armor that John uses to tank people in Ghost of Yote.
Bro.
She just goes hard.
Yeah.
And again, it was one of those things where I think she was supposed to be who we experienced the story through for the most part, is her as a character as a whole. Yeah. Which now, being very practical, I thought that was the plot line of her and the guy almost fell flat. And I say that, so one of the running conversations in the Godzilla franchises is the debate over the monster storyline and the human storyline. And between the movies, there's always this struggle. In this, the ninjas work the monster storyline.
Yeah.
And the human storyline was her figuring out some stuff. And it felt very just convenient and just very forced, some of the moments where, oh, the FBI is after you all of a sudden. And just certain aspects of it just were like, okay.
Yeah. There were moments where we want to move the plot along, so this is now going to work because we said so.
Yeah. That is one thing that I did see when I was trying to watch it with a bit more of a critical eye, is there was a lot of, okay, we're just going to accept what's being presented because we need to in order to get to the next point.
Right.
And I can understand why someone with a critical eye would have issue with that. However, I have a tendency to watch movies from the perspective as intended. I watch from the intended perspective of the writer, meaning as long as it's not jumping the shark, I can take those leaps of logic and be like, okay, we're just going here for the sake of the movie. Because I'm not coming into a movie like Ninja Assassin looking for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just looking for, I want arterial spray and violence.
Right.
And semi-coherent plot that causes the previous two articles to happen, basically.
Yeah.
To that point, one of the only other critiques I had about the movie was the girl that was the semi-love interest in the ninja camp.
Yeah.
I don't understand how someone that sweet and that tender-hearted is raised in the same school that everyone else is. She remains that sweet and tender-hearted. I think we would have benefited a little bit from seeing her suffer and struggle and yet retain that heart, because she looks immaculate every scene. Her hair is always done. She never has any blood splatter on her at all. The worst she ever looked was when she didn't escape and they bound her up in that box and wouldn't give her any water.
They did scratch. They cut her face first.
But that was in a fight, wasn't it?
No, because she refused to mark her opponent. The sensei guy, he cut her face.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But that was the first time we saw her struggle in any real way. She was literally being the heart and soul of the main character.
I can see that. It seemed late for that to take place.
Yeah.
And I can see that because, like, you see the kid, like the boys, and they are scarred up everywhere.
Yeah.
And you would expect that she was so tender-hearted, and you would assume they were pushed to do more things, that she would have some markings elsewhere. However, let's be real. If you were doing an assassin school, I'm trying not to be crude here, but you don't mark up the assets.
You're not going to mark up the women.
Yeah.
You want them to look pretty for when they do their job.
I guess then to that, I would have appreciated seeing her training being different.
Yeah,
Show a scene where you've got all the guys knocking each other
I could see that.
and
Yeah,
then she's preparing tea or putting on makeup or doing to show that her training is different, and that's why she has a different outlook, and she's so much different than all of her brothers and
Yeah.
sisters in the school.
Where I can appreciate what you're asking for here, Bam, I will say that they already had 3 different storylines that they had 3 different stories they were telling throughout this movie already. I think if they were to have expanded on that character anymore to the point of adding a 4th storyline to this movie, I think it would have started muddying the point more than it probably already was in this. There, pun not intended, there are so many hooks in this movie where I feel like this movie could have been turned into a manga or an
Oh, yeah.
anime
Oh
and
yeah.
been fleshed out 500 times more and been that much more enjoyable, because there is the concept of having 9 still existing ninja clans from thousands of years ago
Mhm.
hidden in plain sight is such a fantastic idea to drive such a amazing, it's such an amazing idea for an anime that
Mm.
I really feel like this could have been something so much bigger, and I think they were intending on making this a franchise. It just didn't really take off from the first move.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more about the little brother storyline too. His rival in the school, like the only thing we got really was that he was the one that killed the girl, and then he keeps calling him little brother throughout the movie, and then they have this big fight at the end, and that was it. I would have liked to have seen that more. So I think you're right. Instead of doing like a short 2 hour or 90-minute movie, we could have made this an anime, because that would have been amazing. And then make it like a full 13 episode OVA where we could actually explore, maybe even a whole series where we could explore all of these plot hooks.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I will say one thing that kind of fell for me plot wise was at the end when they are attacking the dojo area. First off, how did they get the trucks up the mountain? That was weird. Second off, where were the extra children? If this was a ongoing thing, why weren't there more children? Why weren't there any children at the final fight?
It's like they all grew
Because
up
they
and-
didn't want to have violence against children in the final scene of the movie.
I get that, but it just felt like all of a sudden it's like there was no mention of children anywhere. That could have been a whole plot, an easy plot line of getting the children out of the situation.
I could see it, but then again, it's just like you start blurring the lines of where do you draw the line for plot bloat.
That's true.
I made an observation towards the end of the movie talking about the last scene, and I wrote something down, and I want to float it by you guys and see what you think. Let's take this story, change it up a little bit, change some of the names, change it to where the brother lives but is scarred, and change the name of the clan to the Foot.
Jeepers.
And
Stop
now
it.
we have an
Stop
origin story
it.
for Amato Yoshi and Oroku Saki. Seriously.
it.
Oh,
This could be not like, as much as people love The Last Ronin and taking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and giving it a serious spin, you could make this the origin story of why Splinter and Shredder hate each other.
you're
but
not wrong, and I hate
before
that you're not wrong.
introducing the mutagen, before introducing Turtles, just make it about them being raised in the Foot Clan.
I'm going to do you one further, Branson. I'm going to make you mad that this doesn't exist. Your idea could literally be the Gotham to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and easily be made into a weekly TV show.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Exactly.
And you wouldn't even need the CGI to make the mutated animals. It would
No.
be
Exactly.
it would be the cheapest thing to make, and it'll never happen
Yeah.
because it's what people want.
Let the whole series end with Raizu, who would be named Amadio, moving to New York City. Have him walking through Ellis Island into New York City with a bag on his back, and just have him like casually stop by a turtle, look at a group of turtles in a pet shop. Fade to black, end of series.
Oh my god.
Even make the brother, like his specialty weapon, make it claws.
Uh,
Don't ever call him Shredder. Just make his specialty weapon claws. It would be amazing. It would be
man.
absolutely amazing.
I didn't go that far, but I did put in here that this would have been an amazing modern day plot line for the Assassin's Creed Shadows game.
I would agree with that. And I also want to say that I have I don't know if I can call it a fan theory because they'll never make another movie, but I have a fan theory about the ending of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
In that, how he was talking about that one lady who took the sword to the chest, and they're like, no, her heart's over here. And he was like, she has a special heart. I was thinking about it. I'm like, what if that was an illusion? At the end of the movie, that dude's girlfriend wasn't actually dead, but she played dead because her heart was in a different spot too. And that was the whole point of him saying that she was off hiding. And so once the clan was all dead at the end, he goes and jumps the wall to go look for her.
That
I would have.
been awesome.
That would have been great.
I think that was what they were trying to hint at, but they did a terrible job in the execution to it. So that's my fan theory in my head on how that movie actually ended.
That makes me like the ending that much more. I like the ending already. I love the symbolism of him climbing the wall that she couldn't get past.
Right.
But adding that note to it, because they made such a big deal about the heart throughout the. Do what?
They brought it up for two different people in the movie.
Yep.
Even in the training where they talked about what does your heart tell you? Listen to your heart,
And they can't touch my heart.
That would have been brilliant. I wonder if they intended to do that and just drop the ball, like you said.
Or they were going to lean into it in movie number 2, like the Leia's your sister. Oh my God, I stuck my tongue in my sister's mouth moment.
Yeah, that got weird.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, do we want to give a final rating on this movie?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
My body's ready. I'm here for it.
John, can you explain our rating system?
Ladies and gentlemen, here on the bottom shelf, we have a 4-level rating system. That is 4 levels for your viewing pleasure. The top shelf is that movie that you have to own. The critics are wrong. This movie is fantastic. Nobody knows what they're talking about except for you. The middle shelf is this movie was pretty decent. I'd watch it if it was on streaming, but I probably wouldn't own it. Wouldn't hate to watch it with some friends, but probably not alone. The bottom shelf is, nope, this movie was just as bad as they said it was. Probably won't watch it again, but I wouldn't have an issue if somebody else was curious. And then there's the dumpster fire, which we purge the movie from humanity, and we will actively go out of our way to make sure that nobody ever watches that heap of garbage again.
I'm actively waiting to put War of the Worlds in there, but somebody won't let us.
I'm just saying, my guy, we're waiting until January when we can do a group watch on that. This is science, sir. This is for science.
Oh my gosh. John?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Redman?
Yes.
How you rating this?
All right. I don't think I've really hit how I feel about this movie. This movie is tacky in all the good ways. Is this a life-changing movie? Is this Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where it's going to redefine what a kung fu movie could be? This is not a kung fu movie. Where it can, or is this going to be like Shogun, where it's going to show us what a samurai movie can impact us dramatically? This is not a samurai movie. Or is there going to be, no, this is Batman 89 is what this is. Batman 89 with blood is what this is. This is popcorn and oops, I sat in the splash zone. Now I got blood on my jujubes. This movie's not going to change your life, and it wasn't intended to. This movie was supposed to be big, dumb fun. This movie was the movie that Dick Tracy wanted to be, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. And the fact that the fact that he was in it just makes this even top shelf. Mandatory watching if you're into ninja movies.
That's fair. That's fair. B?
I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did the second time around.
Yeah.
One of the things I wrote down, and I wanted to alluded to this earlier. I wrote down, I don't know if movies in 2009 were that good or movies now are that bad, but I thoroughly enjoyed it the second time around, much more than the first time. The first time I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's what I expected it to be. Watching it the second time, I kept writing down, why am I enjoying this so much? I don't understand. This is genuinely a good movie. So hearing that it came out about the same time as Underworld and some of these other movies, maybe the market was just saturated for over-the-top action. And maybe I was just numb to it all at the time. But going back and watching it alone for what it is, it was genuinely enjoyable. I can't say that I would necessarily own it, but most of that's because I have children in my house and the gore might be a little bit much for them, but that is the only reason, not because I didn't enjoy it. So while I technically wouldn't necessarily own it right now at this stage of life, I still would 100% watch it again.
Mm.
If I'm actually surprised I didn't already own it, given how much I liked it. So I gotta go top shelf for this one. Don't watch it with your kids, but definitely top shelf.
All right. All right. For me, coming back into it, again, I was expecting to have fun with it, but with the rating of it, I'm going, okay, it must not be that great. I was expecting maybe middle shelf, but I had a lot of fun. Celeste is watching it with me, and she's laughing at it. We're enjoying it. The over the top stuff. Again, you have to you have to be a fan of the genre of the over the top splatter stuff, and there's a difference between what they did and when it's just like the hack and slash gory movie things, in my opinion. Guys, I'm going to give this a top shelf.
There you have it, everybody.
Yes.
It's rare, but these happen. We have an undisputed top shelf. The critics were wrong.
Yes.
This movie is gold. Go watch it.
I'm going to go. I got to go buy it now.
Bro, and the best part is, and I learned this when I went and bought Battlefield Earth. And the Battlefield Earth, when I bought it, was like a new version, like a new deluxe version of the movie that they made for Blu-ray, and it still was like stupid cheap because nobody wants to buy it because it's known as a bad movie.
Right.
So I have a feeling you're going to see the exact same thing with Ninja Assassin.
I'm trying to see if there's like a box set of a bunch of ninja movies.
Oh, I can't really help you there, but I have a feeling you can probably find a Blu-ray of Ninja Assassin for $5 on someplace.
Oh, I'm
Easy
sure.
peasy. I remember going to Hastings and seeing that in the buyback bin for 99 cents or $1.99 each one. And
I feel like I've seen it at Walmart even.
Yeah, like there would be stacks of them, and that's what dissuaded me from seeing it until I did, and I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, aside from shopping online for our listeners' enjoyment, you guys want to head on over to the Weak Connection section?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
This is a weak connection.
Welcome, everybody, to the Weak Connection portion of our podcast, where we try to find something spiritually uplifting, something edifying or morally valuable that we can pull from this movie and possibly use to edify yourself or proselytize your friends and or family. So won't you join us now as Pastor Dallas Mora can tell us how to use this movie to manipulate your friends into going to church with you.
Wow. I don't really agree with the way you described that. But
I play. Okay, everybody out there, that's just me being goofy. I'm not actually that way.
Oh, man. First off, a real quick poll. B, do you have anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay. John, do you have anything?
Yes, I do.
Sweet. All right, I'll make mine quick. Throughout the movie, you have this structure being set up, the whole thing about you are my children and all this other stuff. And it was a very toxic and controlling thing taking place. But it made me reflect on like real life church life, real life raising disciples. What does it mean to look because we use that vocabulary of being a church family, and that's biblical language. And I'm taken to John chapter 13, verse 34 and 35. I'm reading out of the English Standard Version. It says, "A new commandment I give to you," this is Jesus talking, "that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this you will know that you are my disciple." By this all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. And we hear that last phrase that you'll know by loving each other. But back up again to verse 34, that you love each other as I have loved you. That whole aspect of loving each other the way Jesus does, which is a selfless love, where I genuinely care about John and Branson and making sure that they are living the life they need to do. I encourage them. I challenge them where it needs to be challenged. I help call them up to a better life. And they do the same thing for me as brothers in Christ. But there's genuine care for us. It's not a matter of me trying to get something out of Branson. Within the structure of the movie, the clan, it was really a, for me, type of mindset. But for us as men of God, and for ladies who are listening, women of God, we need to be caring about each other genuinely and being able to look at each other and go, hey, look, I love you, I care about you, and I'm championing the things you're going through. And when needed to be also, hey, there's some road bumps or some things here that need to be handled. You need to take care of this in love and grace, obviously. But when we do these things, that's how the world knows that we are genuinely Christian. And I feel like there's a lack of that in some degree from one pendulum swing to the other. And so that's my devotion for you guys.
Amen.
All right, I'm going to go next before Branson steps on mine because Dallas got close.
Sweet.
My weak connection is based off of the portion of the movie. It's towards the beginning where he's having a flashback towards his earlier training, where Shokasuga is telling him as a teenager, you must learn to despise weakness in others, but you must most of all despise the weakness in yourself. And he tells him that when he's doing this little tiptoe shimmy across this wood floor that's got creak points in it, and trying to learn how to sneak across a creaky floor. And Shokasuga smacks him on the feet real hard with this bamboo that cuts grooves into hit the bottoms of his feet. And so it shows him later on in the evening, he's all like whimpering and crying because his feet are all cut up and bleeding. And the girl that we were talking about comes and starts applying a salve to his feet. And I'm sitting there thinking, I was ruminating on that despise the weakness comment. And I was waiting for the stereotype of reject the help that this girl is giving you in order to reject the weakness that's in yourself. But he doesn't do that. And I really started thinking about the messaging being sent there. And it occurred to me kind of like what they're telling you there is to accept help offered by others is not weakness, but to allow others to provide strength in your weakness. So if anything, it's allowing the strength of others to be your strength. And for a biblical reference, I want to take you to Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 12. And I'm reading out of the extra sanctified version. And it says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they can keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? And although a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him, and the threefold cord is not quickly broken. So to accept help from others is to enrich and strengthen yourself, and it is not to be weak, but to accept strength for your benefit. So a strong person accepts help because they can accept the strength added to their own strength.
I dig it.
Okay, let me find some new shoes because John just walked over my tongue.
I knew you were gonna go for that. That's why I had to jump in there. I'm like, oh, if I don't step in, Branson's gonna eat mine. I could tell it already.
No. My weak connection's completely different. I'm saying
okay.
I was like super extra convicted by what you.
Oh shoot, bro! I'm sorry.
That's good. That's good.
No, I appreciate that. I really do. So my weak connection, I found myself watching the movie. I was very fixated on the relationship between the ninja father and Rizo, and especially when he keeps saying, "You're my favorite son, and I'm proud of you," and he would say these loving things and then beat the snot out of him to get him to do what he wanted, and even so far as to send him to fight that gangster in the bathroom, and he comes out holding the gold watch, and he's keep it so that every moment is a gift. And it's this weird, strange dichotomy of this guy saying fatherly things, but then bringing out the worst in him. And it made me seriously hate that character. Do a little dance when he finally died. But that whole concept of father and son, and when Rizo looks at him and says, I am not your son, you're not my father, and after I kill you, when I breathe, it will be the first breath of my life. One of the things that the movie didn't camp out on is that what made, how do you say his name, Sho Kasuga? What made his character so sinister is that he is filling a need that all those children have.
Yeah.
Those children are orphans. They need a father. And he has stepped into that emptiness and is twisting it and making it something perverted that it was never meant to be. And one of the things the movie does not touch on at all is that even though it was great that Rizo was able to rise above his need for that guy's approval, he still needs a father. he's not this Lone Ranger guy. He can't do it on his own. He still needs a father. And thankfully, for people who believe in the Lord and who follow the Lord, we have a father. We have a father in the Lord.
Yeah.
Romans chapter 8, starting in verse 12, it says, "So then, brothers, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live according to the flesh. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. For all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by whom we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with him in order that we may also be glorified with him." The thing that stuck out to me was that thing about falling back into fear. How did this father train his children? Do well, or I will be displeased with you. Do well, or I will look on you with scorn. Do well, or I will punish you. And it is so easy for us to see God in that light. God sitting in his dojo with a reed, ready to whack the bottom of our feet if we make a creaking noise, or if we fail to kill our target, to look at us with disdain, if we dare run away from him, to tie us up to a stake and run a sword through our heart. But what do we see when we look at scripture? We don't see that. We see God as a father sitting on a front porch, eagerly waiting for his prodigal son to return. We see a shepherd who leaves 99 righteous to go find the one wayward sheep. We see someone who the Holy Spirit inside of us cries out, Abba, Father. And the beautiful thing about the Lord is that, unlike this ninja master, we don't earn his favor. His favor is freely given. Now, because of that favor, we're expected to make decisions based on that. We operate out of his grace, not out of our sin. We're not slaves to sin. We're slaves to righteousness. And we're expected to live that out, but we don't earn it. God's not sitting there saying, I'm going to give you my love if you do the right thing. He's saying, I have given you my love freely. Now go and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I want to encourage people is that even if you are in a situation where, much like Rizzo, you're in a situation where the father figure in your life was not a good person, was not a good person at all, you have a good father in the Lord. It isn't enough to reject that bad father in your life. You need to replace it with the good father who is the Lord.
He's a father. Who you?
Yep.
Oh, that song.
I dig it.
No, it's the repetition.
I gotcha.
Cool. What did you guys think about this movie out there in listener land? Did you love it as much as we did? Did you hate it as much as the critics did? Let us know. Check us out on the Discords, where we have our own Discord community. Look us up on the Face Space in our Devoted Geeks community, as well as the Geek Devotions Facebook page as well. We interact on all those, as well as the other socials that we have out there. And check out geekdevotions.com to check out possibly some other Geek Devotions podcast network podcasts that we have out there, such as possibly We Read Allegedly, where we allegedly read books and talk about them on the podcast.
And potentially
Spider-Fan's coming back. I just have to record the episode, but it's coming back. I got wrapped up in Inktober for a while. that ate up a lot of my free time. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that, bringing it back. Going to try some new stuff, and I'm actually very excited because this is a good season to be a Spider-Man fan, because there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. So Spider-Fan will have a new episode very soon.
And speaking of things coming back, Dallas, I've heard a rumor that there might be a certain Gundam podcast that might be.
Yeah. So the Gun Watch may be making a return with a special guest for a quick one-off. We never actually finished the conversation on Witch from Mercury.
I thought we were doing a 2-off.
Yes. We're not doing like what we did before. And so we're going to do a review of season 1 and a review of season 2 with special guest John Haryu.
Legasp.
Let's be looking on that for that next month. There's a lot of Gundam stuff happening. Dude, there's a Gundam pop-up store happening here in the States.
Seriously?
Yeah, Gundam base.
Road trip.
Anyways, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but if it airs before November 8th, which is a Saturday, next Saturday of the recording of this, Celeste and I will be at the Louisiana Delta Comic Con in West Monroe. I encourage you guys to come out to our booth and say hello and get one of the snazzy business cards that talk about the bottom shelf. And also pick up a little comic strip that Branson wrote that talks about all the things we do here at Geek Devotions.
Another moment of silence for Hastings. All right. With that being said, and Branson raising his hand to ask nobody a question, apparently.
Look, you don't go invisible just by doing nothing, okay? You got to stay loose. You got to stay limber.
Yes, because I remember when I was watching this ninja movie, how they went invisible by flailing their arms about.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's all I'm saying.
That being said, everybody, stay devoted.
Peace and love.